Hi, I'm Joyce Danger, and I'm here with my girlfriend director, Carolyn Thompson, and she's the number 4 director of the number 4 unit in the whole state of Minnesota, and I'm so excited to spend the afternoon with her, and we've been just chatting about some of the things that we think are success traits that we've seen in people who've been in Mary Kay, people who are doing really good things, and what things have made a difference for us in our careers with Mary Kay. So the first thing we wanted to talk about is kind of keeping it simple. So Carolyn, what do you think um, people that things that you've done or things that people have done to keep it simple in Mary Kay, what makes a difference with that?
Well, I think today, especially, the company's helping us to keep it simple. We've got an easy beauty book to go from. We've got a lot of products that are meant to be intertwined and intermingled. I think simplicity today is the name of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just go on with
Mm-hmm.
and don't worry about all the little stuff. As we're sitting here, we're outside, as you can probably see, and we were talking about things going the way that you want to go, and hoping the garbage truck would be done by the time we started here. Now another truck just started going down our street, and we could stop the video and restart it and not listen to that. But you know, sometimes it doesn't have to be perfect; it just has to be done. And so in our business, you know, you might not say the exact right thing that you would like to say, and it might not look exactly as pretty as what we might like it to do, but sometimes we just have to do it, or talk to the lady even if your face isn't 100% the way you would like it to look, but do it anyway.
I agree. I think the day of the class is kind of over, and people are coming out to have fun with their girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let them have a good time and know that they're there to play makeup. And so if we are, it's kind of like when you were a little girl and if you had that friend who had all the Barbies and you get to go to her house and play Barbies with her and play with all her stuff. Well, we're the girls with all the makeup. And so when people want to come and play makeup, we get to be the ones who bring all the toys and they get to play with our toys. And at the end, if they like our toys, then they can choose to buy their toys and they don't have to go home and beg their mom to get, you know, get the Barbies. They can buy what they want from us.
A good analogy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of time, the other thing that we find is that sometimes people are concentrating on a whole bunch of different things and not really sure where to put their efforts in their business. And I have to keep things simple. And Carol and I were talking about what things we did to move up the career path. And Carolyn, what do you want to share what you were doing?
Sure. When I was a brand new consultant, I was trying to put Mary Kay into a schedule of a full-time job and small children. And I sat down with my director, Shirley, and I asked her what it would take to be successful. And she said to me, if you could hold 2 or 3 parties a week, you can have anything you want in Mary Kay. And so that became my track. And that's truly all I thought of every week was, do I have those 2 to 3 parties on the books? And if for one reason or other, if a party would postpone or cancel, which is perfectly normal in our business, I would use that same time slot to do customer reorder calls. So it was like a phone party. And that's how I ran it. It was so simple I didn't have to think about anything else other than, am I doing the 2 parties this week, 2 to 3? And that got me the faces I needed to sell to build my customer base, to build my team. So during that first year, that was what I ran with.
Mm-hmm. 2 to 3 parties a week.
Exactly.
Excellent, excellent. And I also came up under Shirley Hutton as well and was told the 2 to 3 parties a week. And I found that I would get confused because I'm very literal about things. So it seems like a party to me has to be, you know, a hostess with so many guests and all that kind of stuff. And I would bring people to meetings. I do a lot of appointments with maybe a lady and her daughter and her sister, but maybe there isn't really a hostess and we're just all together just playing makeup at my house. And so then I get confused and I don't really call it a party. So I finally thought, okay, I just have to just not worry about that. Let me just focus on the number of faces that I do every week. So I track, you know, number 1 through 10 or 12, and if I can be doing 10 or 12 faces each week, then I feel like I'm successful and that I'm meeting my goal, whether it's in the form of, you know, 2 guests here, 3 over here, 1 here, and whatever that looks like, but that there's 10 or 12 ladies that get Mary Kay products put on their face each week with my help.
So it's really the same thing, just a different way to get to the number of faces we wanted to do that month,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that works.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we think that success has to be convenient, and I don't know where we got that idea from, but I have had to learn that most things that I want in life in general are not necessarily easy. It's simple. It's a simple business, but it's not always convenient. And one of the things that I had to do was to figure out how I was going to make my success event part of my routine and part of what I was going to do in my business, because I do think we need that support from our sister consultants, from our sales directors, and I know I was a single mom as I came up in the business, and of course I had to arrange for childcare for my son was 6 at the time, and so, how do you make all that work? And with success events, because you were in another city from where your sales director was, so how did you work that out?
Well, first of all, I think most people today end up traveling quite a ways to go to their success events, and it's a commitment. I really believe it's the commitment that's the most important thing in our business. So that no matter what else goes on in our life, we know that, say for example, Monday night, we're going to get to our Mary Kay event. So I plain wrote that in cement. My Monday night meetings were something that I went to. I came home after meeting with my sales director as a new consultant, and I told my husband and kids, Monday night is the meeting night, and everything happens there. And I have to say, I didn't come into the business with that attitude. When my recruiter Karen called me and told me that Monday night was a night to get together, I thought, oh great, now she tells me I've already got a busy life. And she called me every week for 6 weeks on Mondays.
Seriously?
She did.
Wow.
And she said, there's a meeting tonight, Carolyn, and I always would have an excuse. And finally, the 6th Monday, she called, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go, and then I'll be done. She won't call me again. Well, you know what happens when you go to a Mary Kay event. I never missed another one. I met Shirley. I saw this group of women that were excited about what they did. I saw all the things I needed to learn about my business, and I realized that is why Mary Kay set this up. So at that point, I would have traveled to wherever that meeting was. And I think that is the difference between success and failure. A lot of times is, do you go to those success events? And I know they're not always easy to find, but they are out there, and we need to get to them.
Yeah, I think having that camaraderie with your sister consultants makes a huge difference, and sometimes it's just the little things that somebody might say, so it's not always what was on the agenda of the meeting, but somebody might talk about, I remember Sharon in my unit when I was a consultant always was selling sets, and I was so disgusted with Sharon and her selling sets, and Sharon sold another set, and Sharon sold another set, and I'm sitting there, in my chair, having not sold any sets, and was wondering, well, why am I never selling any sets? And then all of a sudden I thought, oh, you don't show any sets, do you? And I didn't think anybody would ever spend over $40 at one time, so I didn't show anything that would, even like the skincare set, I didn't think anyone would buy all of that stuff all at one time, so I didn't show it. And no wonder nobody was buying it, because I didn't give them the opportunity. And so it was because I was sitting in my chair not getting recognized that I realized that, oh, some people do buy all of that, and they do buy it all at the same time, and I learned to tell them that they could buy all this stuff, and people did.
You're right. It's amazing what we learn at those success events.
Yep, makes a big difference. Sometimes we have to communicate with our family members or extended family members about the importance of that, and I know I had a little issue with that with my extended family would plan things on my meeting night, and they would say things like, well, you're your own boss. Can't you can miss it just this time, or you can miss it for this and for that. Did you ever have trouble with that, or did everyone in your life say, okay, Carolyn, go ahead and do what you need to do?
No, I had to make it very clear that this was my meeting night, and if somebody came to visit, they would come with me to my meeting. And I remember one time when my grandson Devin was little, and he was staying at our house, and my mother called me to chat on a Monday, and he answered the phone because I was busy in my office. And he said to my mother, oh, Grandma Dee, don't ever call on a Monday because my Nana has her success meeting. And, from a little boy, he knew the commitment that I made for Monday nights. And I think that's a really neat thing for our family to know, that we are committed to going no matter what.
I think that, and people give it the respect that we give it. So when my children growing up, when they saw that for me, that this is a business for me, and that no matter if I don't feel good or for whatever reason I make it happen anyway, that they learn what commitment is like. And as young adults, my children do what they say they're going to do because that's what they watched me do, and that it wasn't for every little deal that I would change my mind, and that you make it happen.
Mary Kay always taught, unless someone in your family is really sick, you need to find a way to get there. And she went on to say, miss 1 meeting, you're sick, 2, you're dying, miss 3, you're dead. And that's about it, because you can see the difference in your attitude and confidence, and that translates to cash. So it's really important to be consistent in going.
Great. Thanks.
You bet.
We'll be back with some other topics.
Great.